So, um, good day, we are Group Jaega and today we will be discussing about the pros and cons of long hair for male students, hair color, tattoos, and piercing or other bodily mutilation. Then next. First is long hair for men and multicolor hair for both men and women. Next. Long hair stands out a bit more if some students want to get noticed that grow their hair long. This might an easy way to get more eyes on them. And multicolor hair is hair coloring, that practice of changing the color of your hair to a more desired hair color. So first, why long hair and hair color are not allowed in schools? Schools are meant to teach the students about good way of living and it include good appearance. Schools taught that students look good with nice and proper haircut, not with long and multicolored hair. Hair is an important part of your appearance and for many people including adults, teens, and children, the hairstyle is a way to express themselves. Also, the students could actually save a lot of time as they won't have to cut their hair that often and they also have more hairstyles to choose from. And multicolor hair is a hair coloring that practice of changing the color of your hair to more desired hair color. There are chemicals and natural forms of hair dyes used for the process. It works by coating each strand with non-permanent color or penetrating each hair cuticle, entering the hair cortex, and bonding with the hair which is permanent color. While non-permanent hair color can be shampooed out eventually, permanent color, as the name suggests, permanently stays on the hair. However, since hair constantly grows, the color will eventually grow out. Customers considering a change in their hair color have a choice of coloring agents to use. What distinguishes them is how long they last and how they color their hair. There are quite a few options available ranging from non-permanent to permanent hair colors. Next person.
I will be discussing about the pros and cons of long hair for men and colored hair for both men and women. The pros of having a long hair is it will attract attention, it is versatile, men can tie up in a man bun, half up and half down, etc. Men can change their looks at any given time with hair, and for the men who are living in colder climates, long hair can be added protection against the cold during winter. Also, long hair requires fewer visits to the hairdresser. The cons of having a long hair is men will constantly have hair falling into their face during sports and physical activities of any kind, and it takes a lot of dedication to grow out long hair. Also, long hair is still often or sometimes seen as unprofessional and long hair will get knotted easily. Next. The pros of hair coloring also it gives the people a different and attracting look like the long hair for men and it adds volume and strengths. A lot of people actually feel more texture in their strands after coloring their hair. Also, it complements with your feature. The, the right hair color can enhance the people's facial features. It can make their eye color pop and brightens the color of their skin, which will naturally add glow to their face and gives a youthful look. The cons of hair color for men and women is it will damage their hair due to the usage of hair dye and hydrogen peroxide, a chemical compound that is a combination of water and hydrogen that acts as a bleaching agent by breaking down the melanin pigment of hair and coloring the hair, and it can be expensive. Having a truly intricate hair color might cost them a lot. Though the price of any hair color is not too high, the hair dyeing process is quite expensive, especially if they are getting it done by a hair specialist.
Long hair for men and multi-hair color for both men and women is applicable to ethical egoism. because the pupil's action is done from the perspective of self-interest. A person will grow and color their hair if they want to and if they're interested to do. Long hair for men and multi-hair color for both men and women should be allowed in PNC because it is the student free will and it makes them happy. It is normal nowadays and the pros of that is the students will be happy and more students will be encouraged to study at PNC because at some school it is not allowed to grow their hair and have a multi-hair color hair for the student who can't obey the rules will receive punishment. That's why student who wants to be more attractive definitely study at PNC. But it has also a pros and cons if it's if it is allowed at PNC. The pros is the student will be happy and more confident, but the cons is the student will become more informal by having a not proper haircut and hair color.
So I will be discussing about tattoos and skin piercing. So what are tattoos and skin piercing? Tattoos are a great way to display your individuality without having to say a word. Tattoos are carried by their wearer and say something about that person, whether they choose to show them to the world or not. A tattoo is something for the wearer to hold on to and works as an artist's extension of the self. While a piercing or while a piercing or puncture made in the body by a needle. After that, a piece of jewelry is inserted in the hole. Commonly pierced body parts are the ears, nose, and the belly button. Oral piercing include the lip, cheek, and tongue. When a piercing is healed, some people will choose to expand the size of the hole to wear certain types of jewelry, including plugs and tunnels. Stretching should be done in small increments to decrease the chance of damage to the piercing and scarring. So next slide, please. So the pros of tattoo is people can show what they like. It can be a mirror of the soul, and it is attractive for some people, and it can help to cover some part of the body, which is commonly known as the scars or whatever they need to cover in their parts of the body. It can also increase self confidence, and the cons are tattoos are can be and the cons of it is tattoos can be expensive and it lasts for a lifetime and feelings can change, but tattoos don't. Diseases may be transmitted through tattooing and it is so painful because of the needles that pierce through our body. Next slide, please. So, pros of body piercing. It has become a form of self-expression. People express themselves in many different ways. For body modification fanatics, piercing is the medium they use for self-expression and to show some individuality. Humans are always striving to stand out as individuals. People want to be someone, and piercing allow one to show that individuality, and in some culture piercing symbolizes status and class. The cons is piercing requires a great responsibility and care. If they are not taken care of correctly, infection and scarring can occur and piercing requires patience. Many people believe that once you are pierced, everything is fine and dandy, but that is not the case. Most piercing require a month or more of healing before it can be considered healed. Also, many companies today do not allow any visible piercings to be shown, especially if the job requires for one to deal with clients or customers.
Tattoos, skin piercing, or other bodily mutilation is applicable to ethical egoism because the people's action is done from the perspective of self interest. Also, it is applicable to Conscientism, if a person can act morally, regardless of the consequences, and can do right or wrong, it doesn't matter because the only thing matter is if the person fulfill their duty. Tattoos, skin piercing, and or other bodily mutilation should be allowed at PNC because they are saying that my body, my rules. So if a student wants to have a tattoo or a piercing, they always have a right because it's their body. The pros of allowing it in the PNC are the students will be more confident and happier. Also, they can express themselves by doing the things that they want. And it is also an art. The cons are it will be too informal for the school and it is not pleasing for some people and in the future. They will encounter some companies or hospitals who are not accepting employees that have tattoos or piercings, so they will have a hard time finding a job. And that's the presentation of the Jaega. Thank you.